Jumbo, fellow adventurers, Mike Dooley, welcome to Happy Tuesday. Time for another spiritual tune-up. We're going to keep with the topic of death and dying. It always raises so many questions. I have gone deep on many of these topics about a year ago, so please check out the archives either in Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube, where you can see all of the almost 300 earlier spiritual tune-ups. Go back and visit death, dying, hell, the devil, reincarnation, to supplement or complement what I share here with you today. And by the way, I still have proof on my face that I was swimming with my dog just a few days ago on the weekend. First time we brought her into the pool, and it was a free-for-all. Fun was had by all until that. Okay, so several of you have talked and commented in yesterday's post about the true need, necessity, and healing power of grief. And I could not possibly agree more. It is deserved, it has been earned, it is born of deep, deep love. So peace and love, nothing I said was meant to diminish the value and the importance of grief. But I would like to reiterate the point I was trying to make yesterday is that grief can be mitigated profoundly, even eradicated with truth. There is a truth in all things. It is blinding. It is pure love. It is that you and your loved ones are eternal, that we are multidimensional, that they didn't leave, that they're still with you right now, that you can communicate with them, that nothing's been lost, no opportunities, no connections, no nothing. When we can move our conscious minds into a realm of truth, it is easy street forevermore. Love, joy, spontaneous manifestations, no more sadness. It is possible. It is a lofty goal. It is practically out of reach, but it's not out of reach, which means it's so reachable. So please go there with grief as you need and give yourself that much deserved respite for all the love that has poured through your heart. Oh my gosh. But also simultaneously, as we deal with our lions, tigers, and bears and follow our dreams and understand our disappointments, always let there be a parallel track of truth seeking. It is benign. It is friendly. It is part of your DNA, spiritually speaking. It is your birthright, your inheritance. It is the Holy Grail. That's the metaphor for the Holy Grail, the truth. It'll set you free. The truth that we are one with the divine, that we are eternal, that we're doing our best, pushed on to greatness every day, that your thoughts become things, and that there's always another chance, another opportunity for romance or whatever your heart desires. All right. With that said, another question that was very common or that showed up a couple of times in a couple of forums was, is Mike Dooley talking about the survival of our soul? In which case the questioner was like, hands down, I totally get that. But that's not where pain comes from. Our pain and grief comes from the mistaken understanding that perhaps the personality is gone forever. Very common thinking, even by folks enlightened, is that the personality ultimately, whether this lifetime or after a series of lifetimes, dissolves back into God. That is an excruciating, total misunderstanding to the point of fallacy, fiction, and fraud. No such blending back into God ever happens. Where do I tell you? Sorry to sound like I'm talking down or talking at or disciplining somebody. Where does our dance with life take place? Inside the heart of God. So your entire life, you have this distinct personality and you're already inside of God. It's not like we we veer outside of God, and now, plop, we have this unique personality, and we go in and out of the jungles, in and out of reincarnations, and then one day we go back into God. Okay, that might work for some as a crutch to teach a beginner about reality. But the fact is, we never went outside of God. We're still inside of God. So there is no going back because we never left. And if you can maintain your personality now inside of God, when this incarnation stops, it's not like you have anywhere to go. So the news is phenomenal. Your loved ones will possess their personality forever. It exists in an eternal now. Remember Humphrey Bogart in Casablanca? We'll always have Paris. Oh, what a movie. We'll always have Paris because the memory of it alone means it's real. And I'm not just trying to get psychological or split hairs. And I'm not just talking about, well, it'll exist always in your memory so that it's real. No, it not only exists in your memory, but Paris is still happening right now. If you've ever been there, that moment is still unfolding in an eternal now, and you can revisit it when you realize you're multidimensional, and you can explore it and expand it and stay and make new decisions. Such is the nature of this unbelievable adventure that we are now in. But more pertinent is that when a loved one passes, their personality is totally retained. And while they may one day decide to stop playing, stop incarnating on a timeline, that could be inferred as the end of the personality. But that would be such a bogus misrepresentation of reality. It's fraud anyway. Because what is time but a make-believe illusion? So somebody stops playing on a timeline because they've been every Tom, Dick, and Harry, Mabel, Marge, and Susie that they could think of. That doesn't mean that those personalities ended. They're eternal. And anytime, but now we're back on a timeline, which is totally bogus, anytime now or a trillion years from now, somebody said, I'd like to go be Mike Dooley again. Boom, done, you're there. Because Mike Dooley never dissolved back into God in the way people tend to think. Now, there's truths to all of these metaphors that attempt to explain the nature of reality, but when you drill down to truth, that we're always everywhere at once, you know you're an eternal now, you know you're already inside of God, you know it's all happening with grace and brilliance, and you know that there can't be any setup that would warrant a, oh, drats, oh, dang it, oh, that's too bad. Oh, everything in reality elicits and, OMG, this is flippin' crazy cool. That is everything in reality. So anything in your mind about death or grief or dying or anything that gives you pause, realize there's a perspective when put into the panacea of eternity where you would be like, holy flipping cow, this is awesome, I love it. More, please. That's the nature of reality. It is win-win, 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 win-win. And then somebody yesterday asked about the Holocaust. 3 days ago, I talked about the Holocaust. So please check out the 300 earlier spiritual tune-ups. In the proper context, you can see that love was at play, that there was order, that there was meaning, that a lifetime that ended prematurely through murder does not get characterized based on the last moments of that lifetime. And that doesn't justify the disgusting, hideous, awful things that human beings perpetrate on one another. But it does strive to put things in a context through which you don't give your power away through question marks and uncertainty. A couple other tangents here. How are we doing? 10 minutes. Okay, let's get through this here. Pets. Mike, does the whole thing that you said yesterday apply to pets? That they go on forever? Oh, absolutely. Remember, the answer is always heck to the yes, this is awesome, more please. So if you've got a pet that you love, that pet and its personality continue beyond this lifetime. Now, if you found a raccoon that lived in the wild, that never was exposed to human beings, that raccoon's personality probably wouldn't reincarnate. Although life is one non-stop reincarnation. We're all reincarnating. Everything's reincarnating. But the personality of a raccoon that didn't have unfinished business. See, you interact with a human being as a pet, or in a similar way. There's love bonds. There's learning. There's growth that won't happen for a raccoon in the swamps of the Okefenokee forest, the way it would happen if it was born in your backyard and you befriended it. When there's unfinished business, even if it's exploring love deeper and deeper and deeper, then the personality of an animal can and does reincarnate. How do I know? Because it makes sense, because I've read a lot of books, because it is intuitive, because it is logical, because I just know. Excuse me if that sounds offensive or stupid. How to stay in touch with loved ones, Mike, if they've reincarnated and your spouse died 10 years ago. What if they came back 5 years ago as a child in Kathmandu? We are multidimensional. So when Bob comes back as Jim or as Mary, Bob still exists, and now Mary exists. And so Bob is always available to you. You think of a departed loved one, and they are there, a breath away. They're there right now. They're listening. They're watching. They're loving you. They're adoring you. They're saying, be happy, be happy, be happy. It's so beautiful. When you get here, you're going to faint. But don't wait until you get here. Faint now, because it's so beautiful everywhere. And then the other question I got is about suicide. There was a tune-up or two dedicated exclusively to suicides. It's something I talk about at length in my book, The Top 10 Things Dead People Want to Tell You. Not at length, but I talk about it from the person's perspective who's contemplating it. Don't do it. You will so regret it. I talk about it. Now, there's, chronic pain, and there's circumstances I can't speak to. I'm not judging. I just think generally 99.9 times out of 100, it's a bad decision. But I talk about it from that perspective, the person contemplating it. I talk about it from the perspective of people who have survived. And I talk about it from the perspective of the person who just did it. And they look back and they realize there were so many other alternative choices. That's in my book, The Top 10 Things Dead People Want to Tell You. Let me answer the main question you have right now. Those loved ones of yours who committed suicide, they are loved. They are adored. They were confused. They were hurt. They did something that now they know could have been handled in many other superior ways, but that doesn't diminish their light, nor erase the smile that is now on their face. They don't let me speak to this in a sense that, well, if it's that good, I can go there now because this place sucks. No, when you go there now, you see how awesome this was, and you realize you let it slip through your fingers, and you are going to get back in line. You're going to say, I want to try again. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to your loved ones. It is beautiful here. It is never as bleak as it may seem in life. Somebody right now watching this may be going through the most challenging, harrowing time. It will pass. It will pass. You are blinded through your confusion and the angst and the suffering that you've experienced. If you can't find a way to make yourself happy right now, find a way to make somebody else happy right now. And the darkness will pass. There's only love for everyone. Hallelujah. Oh, heck yeah. More of that, please. Thanks for these great questions. Please post more below. If you ask more great questions about death, dying, reincarnation, what happens, then maybe this whole week will be on death and dying, because it's a beautiful thing. Everything's beautiful in time and space. Today is the last day. In fact, we're kicking off at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the 21-day adventure into lucid dreaming. Myself and Dr. Claire Johnson. It's going to be 21 days of wow. Okay, there's going to be daily integrative exercises that are brief and easy. There's going to be 4 workshops, a dream journal, a lot of camaraderie amongst the many thousands of attendees. So I hope to see you there. Click the link below or swipe up on Facebook. Tally-hos, amigos, and we'll see you mañana. Bye-bye. Ciao. Oops. Oh, you're still here? Oh,